Hello, everyone, and welcome to the big, maybe the biggest so far edition of Recapping the Elite. Doc here with my man, cousin Cecil, that I always spell wrong. We're talking about the Grand Slam, 4 hours wrestling. I think if you were in attendance, it was probably closer to like 5 or so because you got those elevation matches in that tape too.
Yeah, they were. Who was that guy? That SRS, that Sean, whatever Sap. He was tweeting. He said, "Yeah, they're doing elevation taping at 7, so that's an hour before even the show starts. So that's right there. I'm like, holy smokes!"
They show those people, and especially New York public transportation is the way to go. But there were people like 2 in the afternoon stretched miles just to get that they already had their tickets. They're just, to get in your social distance, which I approve of there. But excuse me, there were people, you could tell when Dynamite started, there were still people filing in. Some of these guys were probably at that event for that arena 5-6 hours before it even started.
Hanging from the Raptors.
Mm-hmm. The Slobberknock. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. That's the new trademark,
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really good. I thought Dynamite was good. And then we'll get into about the Rampage. I think it's a cool idea they did for 2 hours, but it felt a little hot messy than the rest of it. But no, that's a lot of time. I don't know if sometimes maybe they should just trust their fans. Like, hey, we're gonna do this Wednesday. Maybe keep your tickets good and actually do it on a live Friday.
Well, it was like back when they did the first, and I believe it was free. It was Fight for the Fallen. I think would have been 2019. It was the one where the Bucks fought Dustin and Cody. And that was closing in on 4 hours. And although it was really good, you can tell the crowd was getting tired. And I think that's what happened at Rampage. They might have been getting a little tired, but I think, like I was telling you, I always miss the days of the Clash of the Champions because, they were free. But why not it's the special show and it airs from 7 o'clock until 10, a big 3-hour extravaganza for free called the Grand Slam. And then they could have just taped the Rampage shit in another building the next day or even aired it live. I know there's some expense, but we're not even do a Rampage that week. Rampage is preempted this week for this big, giant broadcast. And it was a 4-hour pay-per-view, basically, with, I'm sorry, Rampage, they need to time those commercials. They're the shits when it comes to commercial breaks.
Yeah. There was one in particular that I thought was very funny, that last commercial break for Rampage.
I read the only reason Bryanson, or wait, what is it? It is Bryanson, isn't it? Whatever, the narc.
And, Danielson.
And Omega was first, was because in that first half hour, all you have to do is take a 90-second break. That way they could take their break in the beginning and they could air the rest of the match without a commercial break. That was the reason they were put on first. The only thing for me was, like we've said before, the Bucks and Omega, the Elite always opens these shows. It makes it a pain in the ass to follow those guys. They're so good.
CM Punk even said it.
CM Punk stunk this week. And clarification, he might have hit the go to sleep, but like I said, the dome wasn't open, the sun wasn't shining. He didn't get any of those rules that were actually made, just probably edited out of the broadcast for recording time. I do want to say one thing, though, that I always brag about Game Changer Wrestling, GCW. Ricky Shane Page, the most hated man there, it was on the elevation taping. He took on Paul White. No more Big Slow. He had a couple guys with him, but I know Paul White went over. But good to see a GCW guy hopefully see him on TV. He doesn't look like very athletic, but I'm telling you, he's really good.
Yeah. I wonder if it could happen because since they had Homicide, never heard of him until this week.
Yeah, he was an old TNA guy. I apologize. My dogs are being asses. My wife will shut them up.
No, but yeah, what is it? No, once just kind of more. It was. I mean, it was cool to always have four more, like 4 hours of wrestling instead of three on your weekly thing. But yeah, we'll get into it. Of like, definitely Dynamite heavily took the cake, but there are some moments of Rampage I did like.
Well, what hurt Rampage again? And now it was just a 3-man team. It was a 2-man team. It was Excalibur, Taz, and Starks. Starks does not talk. He doesn't say shit. And when he says it ain't funny. And my man, the greatest announcer ever, Mark Henry, just delegated to going, the time for talk is done. It's time. Well, the main event. And that's why the main event was good, because Mark Henry sold it, not him having up on the booth. Taz was good, but why on earth did they say, let's get rid of Mark Henry? I could see this. Let's get rid of Mark Henry and let's put in, I don't know, Alex Marvez. I think he's good. Don Callis, awesome. Let's get Ricky Starks. And Ricky Starks, what's he saying? 2 cents. He talks less than Henry did. He's terrible.
He did talk a little bit, but also, yeah, it was like, it was. I liked it. I think just having the chemistry of like, I mean, how would it? Taz and Ricky Taz acts like it's his son, even though his son Hook is out there watching Hobbs getting his butt kicked. Goes, oh, Ricky, my bull! Like he's like, this is a great match. Like, oh, and like every time when the heels are doing good, they're like, yeah. Like when Miro came out and smacked Sammy and Fuego, and they're like, that's yeah, do it again. Like Fuego's getting thrown. Fuego, what? He got thrown like 10 feet onto a table. God.
Fuego's small anyway. I mean, he's small next to Sammy, and Sammy's small.
That was funny. And that I like and Taz has been probably the best commentator they have, period.
Oh yeah.
And just
I like
even on Rampage and Dynamite.
The Hardy family is all standing there. There's like 6 of them, and they're black and orange cast. He's like, "That's right, they're standing together." And then here comes the Dark Order. What? This ain't fair. There's too many of them. I thought just those little 80s bad guy things he does, I think are so funny.
No, it was really good. And but yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Into Dynamite.
20, what was it? Ended up being like 21,000 fans. And I'm surprised WWE never ran in there. I mean, I know my wife watches tennis, so I know the Arthur Ashe Stadium, and it really makes a neat wrestling venue, the way they can get everybody there, a big dome. I wish they would have had it open. That would have been kind of nice. But, no, that was a really neat building. I'm surprised this is the first time anyone's ever ran a wrestling show there. It was a really good atmosphere, too. The crowd was insanely hot.
It was the first wrestling thing there.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because like, yeah, I was like, what is so cool about this arena? Because in my head, I'm like, well, WWE's probably been here, but like, no. So is 21,000 even like a lot for a Raw show?
Oh, see, that's the only thing I have to say. Okay. Again, when everybody says, and believe me, I like AEW. There's no comparison. I think it's better. But number one, everybody's like, oh, they won the demographics again. It's like, they didn't win the ratings. And when it's like, oh, 21,000 people for the event, Raw can get about 40, 50. I mean, when you start doing these 100,000 seat stadiums, charging over, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a ticket, then you have the competition. I'm not saying AEW isn't the better show, but it's still in a different league, so to speak. 20,000 is the biggest crowd they've ever had, but
right,
that's not WWE crowd. It's just WWE. It's just a terrible show.
I was just curious because I know that's their whole shtick. That's why Jericho's the demo guy, but like I knew 20,000 and like, how would I word it? Like, I thought I heard Daniel Bryan say somewhere like, oh, this is like one of his biggest matches, or like the biggest, like something about the crowd.
He's like, a fucking idiot.
I'm like, didn't he get his titles at a WrestleMania like at like one of the biggest, like 300,000?
Yeah, so it's a huge amount of people. I mean, he's wrestled in. I mean, he's an idiot. It's a bigger crowd than what he had in fucking Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I was like, I think I think these are even smaller crowds for when Kenny and Bucks were in New Japan for like Wrestle Kingdom.
God, yes, easy. I mean, I'll give them credit though. The crowd was, and it's the downside of doing such long shows. The crowd was hot. The crowd was on fire. But Rampage was taped right after it. I think they just changed the graphics, maybe a little apron gimmick. You could see the crowd got a little more tired. It's like, especially people that had been there probably waiting 4 hours for the show. They had their elevation matches. They had all these matches. They've been there 3 hours now, and now they get ready for the next. Fatigue will set in. It doesn't matter how good it is. That's why they need to get better about miking the crowd. I've always complained about that. Their crowds are so hot, but they don't mic them enough as to where you can really tell. They have too much announcer emphasis over everything. WWE's got that to a science of showing that crowd. Even when their crowd sucks, they know how to pump it to make it better.
Yeah, no. You can only be so what is it? Dynamite's live, so it ends at 10. But then the idea that we're gonna film 2 more hours. You can only get so hot at midnight watching the Suzuki Goons.
Yeah, they opened hot.
Yeah,
your buddy the Narc, Daniel Bryanson, Brian Danielson, the American Dragon, Kenny Omega. I will go on record, mate, and say I have never seen a man's chest get so welted from chops. Maybe that's because he's pale and looks like a goddamn farmer, but
all the spinach eats.
I gotta say, once again, he just comes across like a douchebag. I don't find him likable. Omega's the bad guy, and he was clearly over, but man, that was probably the best TV match I've ever seen. That was one hell of a match. 5-star in my opinion.
Tony Khan listens. He obviously took our idea for Darby and CM Punk and put it into with Kenny and Daniel because that like goes into us. We talked about Dana Bryan comes in right for a tight I correct how I said, but they made it look like it was a title shot. Then later oh no, it's just a match. Okay. But either way, he got to go up to the big guy right off the get-go. And then at least they did a draw, and also there was no title involved. And it was an amazing match. I'm not, again, I know this is recapping the Elite. I even said to my co-workers talking about the wrestling match. I'm not trying to be an AEW shill, but this is probably the best match I've seen Brian Danielson do in a long time. And I know this was a little a little slow paced at certain spots, but obviously the guy hasn't wrestled for 145 days. It looks like he's still goad. Granted, that it's the touch of the Elite, so when the Elite's in the ring, a paper bag can look over.
Yep.
But I was more just giving a compliment to Brian, who's been not his first match going to a 30-minute draw. It was an excellent match. Excellent. The red chest, even the taking the V trigger from the top of the ramp down, and that was, it was a great match. Like you said, for TV, yes, a 5 out of 5 TV match, yes.
And I liked how when he hit the bell lock, whatever the name he calls his finisher, when he hit it, and then Omega he has the feet on the ropes, hits it again, right in the center of the ring, but only had those few seconds to go. So, it's like, even the announcer sold it. If he'd had just 10 more seconds, so that clearly is going to set up, my guess, probably at Full Gear, a no time limit match or an hour time limit. Do an hour, have them go an hour if they can. Then set up 4 months later the big no time limit. Let him do that. And fucking Jericho, if Omega can carry Jericho for 90 minutes in Japan, him and Brian can go 90 minutes easy, just because I say, you notice he didn't hit the One Wing Angel on, because I still say it's going to be Adam Page. It's the first guy to kick out of that. I'm sticking to that statement.
It all sounds like you're correct about that, because I didn't even notice it until you said it. I'm like, Daniel, I keep saying Daniel, but it's Brian's match.
Oh, the Narc.
Yeah, the Narc. That Narc.
Fuck that name up.
I can't. I also don't like that. Like, it more shows how many AEW fans are just WWE shows that are just trying to be narcs too. You're like, look at the narc. He doesn't say anything bad about the WWE. No, he appreciates where he comes from. Oh, shut the fuck up. Because like that's what gets I can't like it just goes into like those there's some fanboyness in the gaming industry that I can't stand. And then this is like that fanboyness of like they're like resenting watching AEW, like this is okay. I mean, they are giving me more wrestling than I've ever seen in my past. Someone put a stat up of SmackDown of 2 weeks ago, and there was like 2 hour show had only 20 minutes of wrestling, and the rest of it was just whatever SmackDown does. But like the idea of like you do that math and then like you try and go to AEW, this is okay. I guess is our fine.
When WCW Nitro, toward the end when it was so bad you watched it because it stunk, and Kevin Nash was the book. And there's one, I don't know the episode. I will look it up and tell you next week. It's known as the infamous episode. The first hour, it wasn't until the 56-minute mark that a match happened. And that match was like 45 seconds long. So you're watching a wrestling show for an hour and there's no wrestling, there's skits. AEW, they know it's all elite wrestling. They know that wrestling's on the marquee. It don't open with an interview or a story. It opens with the match. And like I said, this match opened. They didn't, you only have to take a 90-second spot in your first half hour. So they didn't have to keep going for breaks. But I was kind of thinking at the end when it went to the draw and here comes the Bucks and they come. I really thought Adam Page was going to come. My son and I both like, this got to be where Adam Page comes out and saves him. But I mean, he didn't. And his wife still must have got that kid out. He still must have bad math when it comes to 9 months.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what's going on there because like he does like limited tweets and everything about that shit. Even though he's on every little side small commercial for that fucking show, he's like, not here.
As much as I say he's the guy that's going to beat Omega, that could be 10 years from now. At this point in time, I wouldn't be shocked if I read Adam Page is on Monday Night Raw. This guy's fucking disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I do wish he what is it? I wish he could come back. It's also like I have no idea what their plans are anymore because now they have more toys to play with. Like Adam Page should be the guy, but they have too many toys now. Because like that 30-minute match, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for round 2 of this.
Oh yeah.
Who cares about everything else? But yeah, 5 out of 5 start of the show. The crowd was crazy. It was a great, and I think I really dig the AEW sub when they have those high rise ramps.
Mm-hmm. I like those digital ramps and everything. Those are neat.
Yeah, but like the idea of like how there's a part when the V trigger hit, and then Brian got to like kind of sloop off to the ramp, off to the ground. That was I like that shit.
And you notice the crowd wasn't like the whole crowd, as opposed to when he was in WWE, wasn't doing yes, yes, yes. I mean, he got a few yes chants, but for the majority of it, the crowd was just enjoying the wrestling because Omega didn't make him look like a chicken shit like they do with some of the other people, like a cowardly heel and cheats and all. Both guys, the crowd was just into the match. It's like with the old Flair Steamboat. The crowd just was into the match. It wasn't like boo, yay, boo, yay. It was this is a good match. I'm gonna sit and enjoy it. And the crowd was on fire through the whole thing.
The only boo I heard was when they said it's a draw, but obviously that's because people want results. But that's the best way to do it. So that means that somebody else can, it was great.
Once I looked at my phone, I picked it up and I was like, it's 7:28. I looked at my kids like, oh, this is going to fucking draw easy. At that when you only have a couple minutes left, you know where they're going.
Right. Because what is it? My brain doesn't even look at the timer until like they should put a timer on the screen. But what is it? Like when they're like, yeah, we got 2 minutes left. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's gonna be either.
Yeah, once the announcers start calling it, we're down to the wire. It's like, okay. But then the downside, because you and I have always talked about their pacing. You got out next, MJF. Maybe it was for the crowds to calm down. MJF, Brian Pillman Jr. I'm gonna tell you what. People get mad. People on Facebook getting fucking pissed. You know, it's not that I don't want them to promote a new star. Promote one that's ready. There's a lot better people out there that I'd rather see than this kid. And two, I'll tell you what, the crowd booed MJF like they were supposed to because they hate him. They didn't cheer Brian Pillman. They went and peed. If they were at home, they went and got a snack, maybe went to the bathroom. No one cared. The biggest reaction is when he grabbed Julie Hart, who, God, she's fucking cute. And the stupid cameraman kept the hard cam on Wardlow instead of her. That was just bad camera work, Tony Khan. Keep it on the good looking lady.
Yeah, I when that came on, that was the next match. You came to my mind. I'm like, oh, they're doing this for the crowd. They just had an amazing 30 minutes. You need a little cool down match, and then it was probably. Oh no, I think that was where CM Punk came out before that show, that match.
Oh yeah, he had his little interview.
He cut his little promo about I'm going to fight him.
You're the best.
I'm going to fight him Friday. I'll see you in 2 hours, and like that shit. But
did you notice that he went and hugged Stephen Amell?
I
crowd from Arrow and who he worked with on Heels. Cody's buddy. I thought that, I was like, Emil had been tweeting during the week, oh, I'm going to be there. I was like, okay, this motherfucker is getting involved. No, he just must have got a comp ticket in the front row and sat there. He's a lifelong fan. So really thought they'd do something with him, but they didn't. It was just more Punk. I love you. People want to see angry CM Punk, but I'm happy CM Punk now. And it's like, Jesus, just stop it.
But he said what everybody was thinking. He's like, I'm glad I don't have to wrestle on Dynamite after that match. And then then they walked into Pillman and MJF, which is probably the best spot for it. There's no again. And like you said, people must really hate MJF or the idea that they understand he's putting the work as being the heel, so they always boo him. I love MJF. I think I'd be cheering him. My
wife hates his guts. My wife watches wrestling, but she's more of she just watches it for the entertainment. She always has. She hates his guts. If you say, do you like MJF? I fucking hate him. I mean, she just despises him.
Why? Because just his mic work?
Yeah. And I think, but the sad thing is the mic work, the ring work, and here's the weird thing. So he insults the family, and the next week he insults the family, and there's the pull apart. And he insults the family. He does 3 weeks of promos, and he wins clean. If you're the bad guy, you insult the face, and you beat him clean. He taps out. That's the end of the. Sorry, fans that are mad that say I don't like him. There, your experiment's over. He's done. The feud's finished. The good guy lost clean. You ain't gonna see him or the hot girl that they didn't have the camera on. They had on Wardlow instead. It's done. Feud's over. Thank God.
I was gonna say the crowd was doing what they can when obviously Pillman's pandering towards them, but they were more over for when MJF held on to Julia and like, hey, you are hurting her, like that stuff. But it was. That's
old. That's when like the honky tonk man would grab Miss Elizabeth back in the 80s. I mean, all MJF stuff is very old school, but it still works because no one does it. But yeah, like she slapped him, and you think he's gonna give her one, and that was the only time the crowd got a reaction. It was not a loud reaction either. It was just, but yeah, it was like a cool down match.
Yeah, very. Almost got us back to regular. It was like,
that I would have had on. I would have left that for Rampage.
Yes, I agree. They could have. I think they could have put CM Punk and Hobbs right there, and then it'd still be because people are so. You still got it, CM Punk. Wow, like that would I mean, it's done the same exact cool down. You know what I mean.
I like Punk. I like his mic work, but I think people are going to slowly learn. When he was in WWE, and they're like, "Oh, he's the greatest ever." It's like he's with Ryback. He's with the Undertaker. He's not up there with the elite, so to speak. He had a hell of a good feud with Raven, and Ring of Honor, but that was ready made, the junkie and the straight edge guy. But I like Punk. I think he's good. He stayed relevant for 7 years, but he's got a better win loss record in the UFC than Brock Lesnar, might I say. But he's not. When you put him with all these other talented people, there's nothing special about him. His skill was the angry mic work that he's not doing.
That's what the thing is, that he was like that early 2000s or whatever it was era, but was like their version of Stone Cold. He was good at mic work, and like he needed like that stick it to the man since he's a punk. So he's going against the authority was perfect, and it worked. And also, like, no matter what you say, having a feud with Triple H and that authoritarian and punk thing, that helps, And also, when you're the one guy looking like you're sticking to the man, people sell it. And you take a step back and see all his feuds were with So or the Undertaker or whatever. I'm still not impressed, and I can only imagine how much money he's getting. And again, I can be changed. I'm just saying the idea of like your first two matches were just okay at best.
And we're talking at okay by like no one got hurt. Okay, in my opinion. Darby carried their first match.
Yeah, and then the second one we'll get into. It was okay. I guess it was okay to go against a big man, but it was rough. But this Pillman, cool down. What was next after Pillman and MJF?
The match that I have to say, I called it. Cody Rhodes booed out of the fucking building against
like hard.
And I gotta say, my favorite spot, the camera didn't catch much, when Double A. I always think of Kevin Nash now dressed up like Arn Anderson going, with his the big giant gut going around the apron, and he falls, which I'm pretty sure that was like a legitimate tumble, because they had to, you can tell he was mad, holding his Waffle House menu in his hand. Get a new menu, Arn. That fucking play-by-play don't look. Malachi beat Cody's ass, and Cody, a couple points in the match, was legitimately like he, I don't know if he was mad or confused, because this is the hero, this is the ambassador, and you're booing him. And East Coast always likes the heels, but they're booing this guy out of the building. Cody could have hit a fucking Ray Phoenix move and been booed out of the building, and Malachi could have just hit him once and got cheered. But I mean, it was just I have never seen a good guy just booed so much. But Malachi's talented. Malachi beat his ass. It was a very good match. I'm surprised Stephen Amell didn't get involved in it.
Yes, and it was very surprising and distraught to see the crowd turn that quick. Like, I think they gave him like the woo, and they even said, "Hey, Brandy's back, woo," and all that shit. But either it has. I wonder if it involves. I have no idea. New York just must love, like, they have a love for Malachi, and even Malachi at the end goes, New York is the house of black. Like, I agree, because he killed it. Oh, of those two right now,
yeah,
Malachi, but also I'm a heel. I'm more of a healer, smart, and like that dark art set. I do like Cody, but also I think maybe, how would I word it? Maybe it's because he's not putting in the work. He comes in from a TV spot, and then he's all right. Let's go back. And I felt like they were smart. They pulled Brandy to do that one little spot sit down thing and do the flip off.
Yeah.
The crowd's like, get
They
that
didn't care.
motherfucker out of there. They didn't want nothing involved with anybody on the outside. Even the part with people reacted when Anderson fell and then he got back up. But like it was, I think it's because he's losing his gimmick. Like the Nightmare Family shit is running dry, and fucking Malachi hit him so bad with that black spray, that black mist, and that beat down there. They have the Nightmare Family tag teaming on Wednesday away from the house from Malachi. They're not even talking about those two anymore.
Malachi's he's ran through them and he's beat them all. But and think about it too. The entrances are both. Malachi has a very Undertaker-esque entrance, and people had their little phones on, their lights, and all like Bray Wyatt. Cody had a neat entrance, he comes, but it was funny. Malachi comes down, they're going crazy. Here, the floor opens, they raise Cody up. There's Arn and Brandy, and it was like, yeah, Cody's back. Yeah. No, it was just, but I called it because I like Cody, and I think the reason I like him is I used to hate him in the beginning. It was like, here's this fucking guy. He just latched on to the elite, and he has WWE matches. All the Cody matches are WWE. Cody busted his ass and started having great Japan-style matches. He worked hard, and he earned a lot of respect from me. I became a fan, but I mean, Malachi's this guy's taking wrestling mixed with the Japanese style, mixed with the MMA style. He's just so good, such a good look, young, just you have to root for him. And maybe they're setting up Arn turning on Cody or Cody turning into a bad guy, maybe, although Cody said he never wants to be a bad guy. But I mean, I don't know. Like you said, the Nightmare Family thing, it's the gimmick with Arn as the coach. The whole gimmick's done. It's done.
I think it also involves how you kind of said, I think, because it goes into what I said. I think it involves Cody not putting in the work, because when he's gone, he comes back and it's like a copy and paste of the match. He'll do his little 1-2 fall to the ground, slap you up top, or do like the quick little jump off the middle rope thing. Like just his move set becomes very repetitive and very like visually like, oh, you're gonna do, oh, here he's red hot, he's gonna go pop pop, then fall down, do that shit. And like when he is in the show and he gets at least a routine of like being on the show, his matches get better. Because there was a part when Cody was we got to wrestle because we're the only guys here. So then he becomes like, even with him and Brody, like him being gone, with the idea he came back in black and all that shit, it worked. They also, granted, they made the gimmick with the dog collar match. Cody helped, like Cody used to, or he still does in the sense, but without Cody, I don't think Darby Allin would look as good, because that Cody Darby match was an excellent match. And like, it's because also Cody can help lift a 90-pound kid, with the idea of carrying the match to make it look good. And I don't like it, again, goes with that you have to be part of the elite, but it just didn't. Cody coming in, I know Malachi doesn't need help like that, but the idea of coming in and trying to look like the hero, and no one gives a shit if you're not been there for 8 weeks. I think they said, was it 8 weeks?
And especially fans, like you said, fans that watch AEW, the majority of us, we're not casual fans. We're fans. We know he went to go film a fucking Gong show. I can never think of the name of it, with Rosario Dawson. You didn't get put out on the stretcher. You just went to go film a show, and then you came back. And Malachi didn't wear the boot. I wanted him to wear the boot so bad, but he didn't. He
should have had like a chain into that drapery, like you just see it on his chest, and he comes up on that. Yeah, I'm hoping for. I'm waiting for my goddamn shirt. I got my House of Black shirt coming. And still, pro wrestling's like, hello. Yeah, we're up to the gills.
Yeah, my son, I ordered him because they have to wear face masks at school. My son's 12, so that's where he gets it from. So I just got him an Inner Circle. Who I'll get into that at Rampage. They had an issue with that Inner
Yeah.
Circle and somebody else. I think it was Lance Archer, and I ordered him a couple. It was like a month and a half I had to wait, but I got emails like CM Punk really. I mean, he helped them, but he also backed them up. But the one thing I want to say about Cody that I really like is everyone knows Cody's a fucking executive in the company. Cody, the Bucks, Omega, Page, the Elite, they're executives. They have backstage rules. And usually that means you have a belt and you never lose in the realm of egos in professional wrestling. Cody fucking jobbed to everybody and made everybody stars. And I have nothing but respect for him. He made Brody Lee. He made you forget Brody Lee was no offense to Brody Lee. He was a fucking jobber in WWE. Cody made him a star. He made, like you said, he made Darby a star. He made MJF a star. He worked with all these guys, but Malachi's just, that dude's on a fucking other level. I love Malachi Black. I'm even going to probably order the House of Black shirt.
I think Malachi is definitely the first hiccup of like the train of what Nightmare Family does is just being like the the family of jobbers that they use to help push people. Like, how would I word it? Like, even like this next tag Wednesday, Lee Johnson, he's a good kid. He's young, but you know what I mean? He's in the right spot. I mean, being under the, because you're going to get better. And obviously I know Cody runs a wrestling school too. Like that idea, like it's under his name. So like he's there. Just, I don't think Malachi was the right target for him. No, I think also
over.
Yeah, he's way too over. You need like MJF should go back and feud with the Nightmare Family.
Rehash some old rules. Marshall finish the feud because that was the most rushed shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, I think this last week Dustin beat QT Marshall on Dark.
The Gun Club, they did the big turn.
Nothing.
No one cares, Yeah, that whole, and I really want to know once again with the fucking menu. What on earth? Why? That's the dumbest gimmick. If you're a coach, have a fucking whistle or something. And now all I see especially after seeing him fall, I just remember the skit where Nash dressed up like him when he just kept going, where he was Arn, he had all his liver spots painted. I think I even tweeted that. Anytime someone mentions Arn, that's the fucking visual I have. Here's something for you fans. If you say I'm being rude because he's old, this looks very dramatic because you can see a light under me. Arn Anderson is 1 year older than Sting. Look at how Sting looked in the ring.
There you go.
1 year.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more glad that they followed the crowd. They didn't, because I wonder how to word it. I wonder if Cody was set to win, like on paper somewhere.
Yeah, because I mean, he was the comeback match. That was the feel good win. Would have been him.
Because usually that's where he wins. He only wins when he comes back. So I wonder that's why he also is looking at the fucking crowd. He's like, huh?
Yeah, because he legitimately was a few times. Like, he was a little off.
The boos were so harsh when Brandy went in the ring. I thought I was going to see GCW style, like shit being thrown.
That would have been awesome.
Just for that quick second of her just sitting down, like, we're like, not they yet. Like, I know they have a a plan, but read the room. And they did. I guess they did right. They got Malachi got the win. It matters on how you look at Black Mist. Is that dirty or clean? Whatever. Blah blah blah.
I pop. We all pop. We're like, I spit on him. I love the green mist. It's a very 80s thing that I'm glad is making a comeback.
But so I'm glad he won. That's all we can say until we see why. Like, it had to be because we are smart fans, and also Cody's wrestling when he's not like I'm not saying he didn't have time to like, hey, let's go work something out, but the idea of just it was very copy and paste, because I feel there's always a copy and paste way of wrestling where these guys don't have to go see each other during like, train. They can just, all right, we'll just do it. We'll figure it out in the ring. That shit. And like you can see Cody has a very distinct copy and paste. If it is copy and paste, I'm not saying, I'm not there. I don't
He's
know.
like a Bret Hart or Ric Flair. They have the Cena, all that's 4 to 6 moves they do, and it's 1, 2, 3. They don't vary. Boom, 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 boom. And he does, like you said, it's the same. Come back, boom, boom, fall down, punch. It's it's the same. You can count them out.
Yeah. And I used to not like pop, but I'm like, hey, I like that dumb little gimmick. He fell down and he does like quick. I like that.
I do too.
But now it's like, I'm like this. I'm like, oh, he does it every match. Okay. I'm like, oof.
But yeah, I'm now what either it's going to be is going to say you didn't look at the Waffle House menu, you didn't look at the diagram. If you'd have done what I told you, you would have won, and I quit, or something like that. Or Cody, if they're smart, would just be like, you fat piece of shit, you cost me another match, you're the worst coach ever, you're fired, and then beat him up. But that would get Cody cheered. That's not a way to go heel. No one's gonna, because everybody's gonna cheer for that. But I think you're painted into a situation. If Arn turned on him, nobody give a shit. And if Cody beat up Arn to be a bad guy, he'd get cheered. Maybe you just need to beat up Arn and get rid of him.
I'm trying to save his money. Where is Dynamite being filmed this week? Because I know they're still on the road, but I can't remember if they're still in that New York vicinity or are they coming over to somewhere else. Because I can't remember, because like I think they're gonna understand Florida, since they ran it so hard. That's gonna be definitely their mark cities or like face cities. And then everywhere else right now, there's so many people we love heel, like we're the heel spots right now. And it goes into like once we get into real rotation of stuff and get back into like the swing of things, of real tours, I think then they can start getting like pops for faces again better. They're not saying they don't, but just the idea of getting some better pops for them. Because I would not want to be if you have a real stick and like you're being a really selling heel, or the idea of like you're over, watch out. I would not want to be against you outside of your Daily's place.
Unless you're MJF, because even in New York, they booed his ass. But like you said, I'm starting to think sometimes it's kind of like, we're supposed to boo this guy. Let's do it out of respect. But yeah, think about it. He was the one heel that got booed.
His
opponent cheered.
Yeah, that too. His parents, though, they were there, and they said, "We're his parents. We don't like him."
When they decide, like, we apologize for bringing him into the world or some shit, like, that's awesome.
You're like, we're MJ's parents, and we don't like him.
I love him. He's a fucking, and I've been watching him before he came over there, like, because he did a lot of shit for GCW and Combat Zone. And I'll say it again, his ring work it's nothing special, but he always just had that. He was so good on that microphone. You could tell that. And I really think that now that WWE is getting humiliated more and more, I'm confident that Vince will finally go, okay, let's turn it up. And if they start poaching people, I look for MJF to be one of the first people they try to get. Just because of that mouth. He fits that WWE style more than anybody there.
Yeah. I would be very shocked if MJF leaves, because like we've had MJF as a security guard for WWE. I don't see him switching, because he's really a made guy here. He makes good money, and he is in a feud maybe twice a year. He does really good money. Ring work, he's in the ring one and a half of a year. But yeah. What was after?
After that, we had my man Darby Allin, my favorite, and Sting against FTR. What the hell does FTR stand for? Fuck the revival.
You're supposed to be, I thought.
Okay, that's what I always thought. I thought the match was okay. For me, the highlight of this whole match was Sting 1 year younger than
Arn
oh
Anderson.
he now the Stinger splash. He didn't get as high for the splash, but Sting can work his ass off. I mean, I didn't think the match was anything overly special, but goddamn Sting was on fire during it. And Darby, that fucking coffin drop onto the apron, I thought he could have killed both of them. I mean, it was a good match. It was a nice spotty match, and Sting looked great. Sting looked, Jesus, I can't get over how good he looked.
For anybody who wasn't watching it, who's watching us, he this was like this is probably Sting's first real match back, because this was 70% Sting, like 30% Darby, and maybe it's granted because it was the revival.
Good team to work
FTR.
because they're very matte, but they're not flippity.
Yeah.
Good team.
Yeah, they're great. They did great groundwork. They also they're quick enough to stay in their spots for these moments, and like even Terry, Terry Blanchard, that's his name. Yeah, Tully, not Terry. Tully, fucking he even got a good right hook into his fucking dome. Sting got slammed. Yeah, he took it like a champ, and you said 1 year younger than Arn. And then
and Tully, I think Tully's thin, but I was hoping he'd get waterboarded because he had the fucking towel. I don't get that. Like, we're gonna wipe the paint off. It's like, we fucking know what he looks like. Is that Spider-Man? What this? I don't get that. But no, I mean, Darby came in hot. Darby took the beating.
Darby's fucking fast too.
Darby is just, he might be puny as shit, but he's on a whole nother level of just skill but no disregard for his own safety. That coffin drop when the guy was, I can't tell a revival guy, onto the apron, you could have crippled yourself and the guy you hit. I mean, that's because you're not going to convince me that he knows where he's going, because he just goes like that with a glance, okay, fucker's to the left. Then he just has to go, there's got to be a lot of skill involved there, or just fuck it, this is going to hurt. I maybe both. I don't know.
I don't know if it's Dash or Wilder, whichever fucking one it is, but that was probably my second, after now thinking about it. I know that I think it goes how it goes. That was one of my favorite. That was my second favorite match. That was of that show, because Sting look good. Darby, like we said, he only did like 30% of this match, but also I didn't remember to not say Darby is so fast. He made FTR move from ring post to ring post in like a 2-minute spot. It felt like it's like a video game, like fighting move. Like you would see, like, say 26 combo for how fast he was hitting, and then all right, Sting, you're back, and then it goes back to, all right, nice and slow splash time, and it was
the trademark moves, ow, and all that shit. But and the weird thing is, though, what we were saying, the crowd, that shows the respect this crowd had. That's a heel crowd. They weren't healing on Sting. They were like, fuck, he's the man. I mean, that was respect.
Oh yeah,
he made me want to buy a Sting shirt.
You know what? I've been waiting for, when is AEW gonna let him and Darby do the rafter drop into the ring?
That would be fucking cool.
I'm waiting for that to come out, because it should happen. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen, but like, it should happen, because that, or even I wish they would do some of the gimmicks that are internet famous right now because of Sting, like him getting up with the fake mask of himself and taking it off. Like, I think he did that once also in TNA. So obviously it's something he's done multiple times, and I like that. And I think it'd be funny to have, like, maybe in Halloween, because Darby has like someone comes in with a rubber mask of Darby, and it's just Darby anyway, but like it's a real full-blown rubber mask, like Halloween mask. I think it'd be funny.
And
I'm look.
Tony Khan, I will say, because he's the main man there. I like what they do with Sting because it's not like God, another one of these old fuckers getting a
No.
check. They know they use him perfectly. A WWE didn't use him worth a shit. He got hurt with Rollins. He comes into job to Triple H. I mean, I wished he never would have went there, but he got a little doll and everything out of the deal. But I the way they use him, I thought the cinema match was good, and they protect him, they use him, they know Sting has never been the greatest talker, so he says his little bit of things, and it made Darby, Cody already took Darby and put him here, and then with Sting, Darby's all the way. I would like to see a feud with Darby and Malachi Black.
I hope that comes because that would be a good thing too. Yes, I give anybody in the back of AEW who is running like plans for like these veteran wrestlers of like Sting. They have worked Sting the best anybody could say in his post WCW career. Even in I've never watched him in
better
TNA
here than he was in TNA because TNA was, no offense, I know they have a working relationship with AEW. Their shit's unwatchable. It's
before
it
or now
always it since it stinks. When Hogan and Bischoff came in, it went down the toilet, and it just keeps going further and further. When Russo came in, it went down the toilet. Now it's just unwatchable. And Sting was he was getting a check. He wasn't working hard. He was going through the motions. He didn't care.
Yeah, it's what is it? I do enjoy this run of Sting because you knew it. I had a feeling it was not going to be good, but yeah, even his TNA run and like this the injury that set it all off with Seth, that was the downward spiral that created this whole, like, even for me when Sting came over, I'm like, oh no, like, how's he gonna do with these young guys? But they've been packaging him perfectly on it. I heard because I don't know exactly his injuries. I know it's the neck.
Yeah.
But
I think I recall, because I've been watching since I was a kid. I do recall, and I think it was a Clash or one of the times when Sting was going to scale a cage, he fell, and I think that was a blow knee. He was out for that. He didn't have a ton of injuries in his career. I think he's got a plastic knee possibly, and he had a bad neck, but he's not like Kevin Nash walking around, with half a fake body. Kevin Nash tears his quads getting into a ring.
Yeah, no, I was just more saying because I was on TikToks and they had a Mark Henry on a podcast talking about, some of these neck injuries are so new. If they were even 8 years back, like they would have we would have an edge run from 8 years ago, not now. So I wonder if that's what's being discussed for Sting. I know he's very old, but also he's been I don't know exactly if he's already had that surgery, because obviously he's been able to take tables. Was there I can't remember, but somebody took a buckle bomb, and was it in the FTR match? Or was it am I thinking of a different match? Because I remember seeing a buckle bomb.
Buckle bombed. Yeah, I think it was the FTR match, but yeah, I can't.
Because then if that's the case, then I saw Sting get a buckle bomb and he, no phase. But granted, proper people doing it.
There you go. Rollins, it seems a little, I like Rollins. Seems reckless. My thing with Sting that I knew he was shit over there when they brought him in to fight Triple H, and here comes the NWO to help Sting. It's like, okay, Sting was their enemy, but okay, I got Hogan, Hall, Nash. This is going to be a good pop. Here comes DX to help Shawn. I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. Oh, Triple H won. Well, this sucks. Hey, look, Sting's going to fight Raw. Oh, look, Sting lost again. This is fucking stupid. So yeah, when he showed up over there, I don't know why it gets cold and the snow comes down because scorpions live in the fucking desert, but it's neat. I like him over there. So when somebody says, "What if Hogan went there?" It's like they probably know what to do with him. They, if they treat these older guys like they do Sting, I got no problem seeing any of them come over there. Except Arn, get rid of his ass. Needs
They
to
even
pack it
did.
in with this jackass. They need both leave.
They even do a good. They even did good with Jake the Snake.
Yeah,
Like just granted, just him being a mouthpiece, but it's that same idea. Like having it was during that time when Cody was like, I don't know if I can do this, and they had like other like Arn started coming over. I'll let these other legends were coming through, so it was a good time. But yeah, another great match. Good job. Kudos to Sting being able to go there through that whole match.
and it
Then
was like a 10-minute match too. I'm looking. He went a while, and about 80% Sting.
Yeah, that's what that's why I liked the most. I'm like, oh wow, he's actually in there doing majority of the thing. And then I was Darby was then just being the
Human
assistant.
pinata. Yeah.
Yeah. The human pinata. And it was a really good match.
Then you had, which was an odd choice for a main event, but it still worked. Dr. Britt Baker. Of course, with her gang now, Hater. Okay, Britt Baker, gorgeous. Hater, gorgeous. Rebel, Reby, whatever you fucking call it, gorgeous. Taking on, not too gorgeous, Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho is packed with talent, though. She's probably the most talented woman over there. In all honesty, I will. WWE, I don't really like their program. Their women wrestlers, however they're worked in that performance center, they are talented. They are leaps and bounds better than anyone in TNA. So I actually really do like when one of them goes over there, because with the exception of the Thunder Rosa match, that was, a gimmick match, it was very bloody. This had to be Britt Baker's best match. I mean, this, and I was pretty confident she wasn't going to drop the belt because she's a heel that's just over like a face. But God, that was a good one. Ruby is so talented. The look works for her. The match is good. It was an odd choice for a main event, but damn, it was good. It had kind of I guess the finish I expected, the interference and all that. But no, I like it. Was a good match. Odd for me, it was an odd choice to close this show, but I liked it. It was good.
I think it was a good match. I also think in this generation, I think it's always good to have a closing women's match, even though let's take another step back. That's only the halfway point. They had women's matches at the halfway, and that was it. They're like, who cares? They're gone. All right, it's 11 o'clock, boy time, like that shit. But
you got to say one thing so no one gets mad. Like Britt has main evented a few times. Britt has done interviews to close it, and which I like, because it does give the respect to ladies. We're like everybody. If anybody goes, well, WWE was the first. They had the first ever women's ladder match. Yeah, they did, and James Ellsworth fucking won it. So any WWE pro guy, there you go. No, AEW, they're doing it right. I gotta give them all the credit. Britt's hot.
No,
she's so hot.
And then Ruby Soho, it goes into that idea. They're coming from no offense to even AEW. These women are coming from leaps and bounds of a different animal of how they do it. That's why maybe I don't even know what it is. Are people moving to AEW because they know it's a little bit more loose, so they can I'm staying at home. I'm not forced to go to the performance center if I'm sucking. You know what I mean? Is the mentality there like all kumbaya, but like the idea of it does affect the I guess the wrestling, but back to the match. Ruby looked great. Able to sell that curb stomp looked great.
Ruby made Britt look better than what she is. And I'm a Britt mark, but I'll say Ruby made her look better.
And I do like how it ended. It ended dirty, right? Because I can't remember.
Yeah, they hit her, and then I like how she puts on the glove before she sticks her hand in your filthy bacteria-ridden mouth. So I do like that. She needs a sock. That would be funnier, or pantyhose maybe. But yeah, I mean, she won. She won with a clean move after the outside interference. It was still enough to border a rematch. Keep it going.
I liked it because I looked at it like because that's why I have a blur. I just remember the results and what my feelings are, but I don't remember how it went. Like because I feel like all right, here's the little sprinkle of the start of her spiral down to lose because I don't think how I worded it. The crowd was with her, but I don't even remember if they were like, I don't think they liked the interference.
No, it's because none of the other matches really had it. Every match was pretty much
Yeah.
clean. And I like that you can't have that's why I was, but like you said, I was bitching. Goddamn Bucks every fucking week. It set up the cage where nobody could do it. So there was a payoff. But to me, if you have someone who's now, if MJF had to cheat, if Wardlow had to do the trip or everything, I don't care. That's his part. These
Yeah.
people like that are so talented, to me it makes them look weak. Just let them win. You know, I mean, fuck, what's it gonna hurt?
Oh no, I'm just talking about the idea of this is then starts the spiral of showing interference or dirty plays because Britt can't hold on to you know what I mean? Like that proper way of a heel should lose the
Mhm.
belt. And then obviously, I don't have the standings in front of me this week, but they have a new standings. Obviously, Thunder Rosa is next because they've been. I mean, I'm not trying to say a racist wise, but they must be working her like a mule because there's she has 26 wins. She has
Oh,
10
she's
more than every.
all
Yeah,
dark elevation. She's everywhere. They bust her ass.
they've been running her hard for some reason. Every other chick has maybe nine or more wins less than Thunder. And I like Thunder because I know that I'm ready for her to get back on TV after this. Oh no, fuck. They have a big. Isn't that happening or did that happen on Rampage? Did I miss it? There's supposed to be a three not triple threat, but like Cargill, Nyla, and Thunder had like that promo. They're
Yeah,
like,
they
we
haven't done
fuck.
it yet. I
Okay,
mean,
okay. But so I guess we're gonna have that happen. Have two 6 foot tall, huge Amazons go against little Thunder Rosa. I'm like, oh boy.
Thunder Rosa will win. They even said
And that's the thing.
they want to push her right with Britt into another big program, make it bloody and violent and all. Because that match, fucking man made him. I got the shirt.
Mm-hmm. It was good. And then,
Awesome.
but
One good match.
that's definitely the future. And obviously, just by I don't the standing thing is it's gonna exploit a little bit, like we said. Thunder Rosa has 26 wins. They're all dark and elevation matches, but if the standings matter, she's the only one with 10 more than everybody else. So she's next. And then if I had to rate Dynamite, uh, it was an A minus in my
Yeah.
eyes. It was a good match. It was a good show, and like, um, almost yeah. No, Dynamite had every person I want win. So it's like yeah,
What
and it
I
was
didn't
right.
get, this is what confused me though. Your most over guy, there's no arguing. It's Orange Cassidy. He's the most popular guy. Why didn't he have a match? And even on Rampage, he didn't have a match. Came down. Why would you go to a new market with your most popular guy that you used in the promo videos where he was sitting on the Wimbledon judges thing and not have him on your flagship show? Him not being there for me was kind of head scratching.
That's good to know because I did not, I mean, I even know that he was on the Wimbledon's like table and all that stuff.
When Khan went there and he's like, this is the stadium we're gonna run this. You could have the best seat in the house like this guy, and he's like on the little judges thing, and he's just like, it's like okay, so he's in the promo. He's clearly the most over guy, and he's not on the show. That was the only negative thing I will give this show was that it was like, where's Orange at? Why? And it
I
wasn't
wonder.
like for Rampage because when he was on Rampage, 10 seconds, it was kind of like it's weird.
Yeah, I think it involves. I could be wrong, but I think they should have had it for that venue, but I wonder if it involves because his play, like his wrestling, is very copy and paste also. and like I wouldn't want to oversaturate a good gimmick like that because it is fun. But when he was doing like, there's been moments recently, even these tag matches, uh, when he gets in there, he's doing his little light kicks. I know the crowd's loving it, but it does get a little like, okay, Orange coming out, we're gonna do this. So I'd save it. Like even like I think this week's Dynamite is the hair versus hair match.
Mm-hmm.
So
Him and Jack Evans.
yes, which is a perfect way to make Matt Hardy, because if Matt Hardy, I feel bad for the whole HFO, but maybe this might
they're going to lose their hair.
Maybe this breaks up the HFO, hopefully, and that'll be great because everyone's mad because they're bald.
Matt sold purpose like, Orange Cassidy, I've had it with you. We're going to have a match Wednesday, hair versus hair. You and Jack Evans. He's like, what? Like that, you know.
Yes.
That was because the money match is going to be, and I still say the wig, lose your hair, come out with the wig. Matt, no offense. I'm jealous that you have hair because I fucking don't. You got to be pushing 50. Let's get a trim. It doesn't have to be shaved bald. Maybe just get a nice little Christian Cage cut or something. But, it ain't going to make sense. Orange don't have no fucking hair. He's got a short. My son has longer hair than him. He does not have long hair. A hair versus hair match, the guy with the long hair has to lose it. That's the payoff.
Yeah, but I guess I understand their payoff because it would be very weird to see Orange, who has all his shirts are his glam shot looking styles, come out looking like you with a bald head. You know what I'm saying?
Orange always does have to go.
Because you got the aviators right now. So obviously you just, turn to the left a little bit. That's an orange shirt. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what Matt's trying to say he's going to look like. So
my son, the shirt in question that you can get at ProWrestlingTees.com. It's Orange's face, and it's called Yearbook Photo.
I have it.
My son on picture day wore that shirt because he thought it'd be funny. He's like, well, I'm going to wear it for the yearbook. I'm wearing Yearbook Photo shirt because my son likes orange. So everybody likes orange. How can you not like orange?
So, but yeah, I think because like Howard, even when he came over, and even Cody goes, wait till you see him wrestle on like interviews and shit. Yes, he has a great gimmick, but his gimmick can go left quick.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they are holding it off. I do not like maybe it's me as my wrestling style of fandom. I don't like the 10-second like hi, I'm here and then it's over. But I understand now. I understand his gimmick. I'm like, okay, he's better as a GIF more than a regular.
Yeah, I remember because even the first time I didn't know who the fuck he was when he showed up at that. I think it was the first pay-per-view in the fucking Casino Battle Royal when he was kicking Dreamer. And I remember the crowd went nuts when he went in there. So they were obviously familiar with him, but I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And my son and I are both like, who the fuck is it? And he's throwing them stupid kicks. And it was like, you had to like it. Because then when he even showed up, when the Dark Order were, and I don't remember, it was one of the early pay-per-views, the Dark Order were supposedly still evil. They had druids and they captured the best friends. And the lights go off and it comes in. There's just this fucking guy with his hands in his pockets. Crowd's going nuts. And I remember Jim Ross was like, who is this guy? And Excalibur's like, that's Orange Cassidy. But who is he? And like, he's the king of sloth style. What the hell does he do? I was like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? And then he makes the big tope with the hands in the pocket and everything. It was like, and the best friends, I love them. They're a fucking gimmick tag team with the drive up in the minivan and all. I love it. He's with the right group of people, and I get what you're saying. I never looked at it that way. You can't have a gimmick every week. Even when he was in the feud with Jericho, might have been there, but he didn't wrestle every week. It was very sparse. So I thought of it that way. That does keep it more fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it wasn't like that because I do like him, but it is what it is. And also, I think how I word it. I feel bad for. Granted, he wasn't a good mic guy, but their mouthpiece is injured.
Yeah.
of the best friends. So it does alter this way of style of talking. I can't believe how much time this motherfucker's been injured though.
Oh my God. And the funny thing is like Orange, skinny guy, Wheeler Yutan, fuck him. Chuck's pudgy as shit. Trent Beretta looks like a fucking athlete. He's a big guy. He looks tough. And when he came back in Arcade Anarchy and he went after Rusev, it worked. Statlander is one of the larger of the ladies. And I don't mean that like she's fat. I mean, she's muscular too. But yeah, Trent can talk. Trent's mom gives him a ride. Without Trent, that best friend, there is no best friends. I wouldn't have that fucking Wheeler Yutan even with them. It's you don't need a placeholder for it. Just but like you said, Trent's gone more than he is there. I mean, what the fuck?
And then like with the Yutan, without knowing that much history about him, all he's been doing is making them lose their roster, their score on their victories. So like it's just I don't know. I know Orange sells tickets, that's why you keep them up, but also
nice.
It's just weird. And then but yeah, I guess A- for me. Did you said A- for you?
A- for me. It would have been, truthfully, if Orange would have been on, I would have given it an A+. That opening match alone was enough to make it some of the best television I've ever seen. It really, well, like they said, we're giving you a pay-per-view on TV. They did. They gave me and their shows are always stacked, but it was a pay-per-view on TV. And then, everybody got to go and pee and, for the crowds, the crowd there, they got to go, probably had a 30-minute intermission at 20 to 30 minutes. That'd be my guess, because they've got to change everything. And we started up. There was no elevation stuff. It just came into now Rampage, which we got to see another 2 hours. And you could tell the crowd was a little tired. And it opened bad because it opened with Punk Hobbs. The match was slow. The styles didn't work. Taz was funny. Don't remember half of what he said. But, I mean, there was a point in the match where the crowd was chanting Hook. And I think Hook's from there. But think about it. They're chanting. They're bored. The match was not that great. And Hobbs, I mean, he's a big guy. He's not a talented big guy like Cage. He's a big, slow guy. And I would have rather seen Punk have a 5-minute squash with Hook. I thought that would have been better. And like I said, the dome wasn't open. The sun wasn't shining. He didn't meet any of the requirements for me to have to buy anybody a shirt.
Okay. I do also I agree in the sense of I think Hobbs did okay there, but there's one spot which ruined the whole thing, the on the rope moment, which was almost near at the end. But the idea of also like when I say like Hobbs did what he had to do, he's the guy who picked up, he spine bust CM Punk, manhandle CM Punk, make it look rough. But then when the moment was hot and you needed him to be able to fucking fall from the rope to fall to the mat, fucking CM Punk hit something, got bloody on his mouth or something, which was funny, odd. But I was more impressed with it just was a very slow paced match for the idea of, like you said, Hobbs. I think he could be ready. I don't like his shtick as looking like that, doing that mean mug, trying to be tough guy like this. And I don't want to sound bad either, but it just makes you look like a big old like animal, and not like in a good way.
No, and he's not. He's missing something because he's big and he's strong. Cage,
a microphone.
He's weak on the microphone. You think Hobbs is good on the mic?
Oh, no, I'm saying that's what he's missing.
Yeah, Cage, I think, is pretty good. Cage didn't need Team Taz. I like Cage. I talked to Cage the other day. Nice guy, fellow statue collector. But Hobbs, even his skills, Hobbs is he reminds me of the 80s big man, a Bundy, a stud, big boss man. Very 80s WWE big man. He doesn't do, I give him credit. When Punk did hit the go to sleep, Hobbs he didn't cover it good. Hobbs fucking jumped for that move, but You know, they fucked up the Frankensteiner. They had to redo that when I thought he was going to power bomb him. I just don't get why you put Punk. Put him with Starks. You got to put Punk with somebody his size. Punk hasn't wrestled in 7 years. This is what his second fucking match. You got to put him with someone that can go. It ain't Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't even know what that. I hope that's the end of the Punk Taz House of Taz feud.
I hope so too. Unless it's going to pay us off in the sense of we're going to get Hook into the ring, then no. I don't want. I'm done. I hopefully maybe I'll light some candles and I wish my shirt was in. Maybe I'd pray to the House of Black. Maybe Malachi and CM Punk could happen. That'd be pretty good.
Turn him into a bad guy. He's a natural douchebag. No offense. I'm not insulting him. He looks like a dick. His pandering is fake. His best work was when he was a heel. Make him a heel. Adam Page is a heel, but the people cheer him. Who cares? But the persona is a heel. Britt Baker, they love persona as a heel. I have CM Punk. Who cares if they cheer him? Make him if they turn CM Punk into a bad guy, he'd be more over because he could actually do better mic work instead of I'm here. Oh, I love you, guy. I hate that shit. I don't want to hear him fucking talk anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just boring. It's just annoying too, because like it goes into like it's like how long are you gonna run the shtick that you're coming back? Because that's what it gets into.
Yeah, because he's
back.
You're
back.
Yeah,
you're back now. You already did 2 matches now, or you did. You know what I mean? You're back. You can now just start saying, you know, I'm looking for feuds because you could be an aggressive. I don't know if this is how it works because I'm not good at the theater of wrestling. But can there be like an aggressive babyface saying, I'm looking for heels to fight?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Stone Cold.
And like, yeah, why don't you? So then like I said, you just heard your crowd want to see your executive like blinded by black mist. Put your big face on probably your biggest heel right now. Well, you know what I mean? Of like your biggest heel that fans love. MJF's different. MJF, he's fit in the bill. People hate him. I love that guy. But the idea of having Malachi see if you can get Malachi booed against CM Punk, and CM Punk can be also the guy to help you get him booed because he does good mic work in the sense of figuring out what to break you down about. And then you can help Malachi open up the true House of Black because there's a big rumor of him getting some of those like middle people of like some can't remember the guy's name, but I remember they said like Abaddon, like that zombie chick, was going to become a House of Black member.
Give him the Dark Order.
Or make him steal the Dark Order. But also I think the Dark Order, if the House of Black gets it, if the Dark Order goes to House of Black, I want them to leave, but I want them to come back how they were, just trying to be dark and evil, but they're just like
don't take
like
TV, take like
TV
Uno and the other one, Stu. Just take 2 or 3, and then the other Dark Order are over here. You could do that. But I couldn't take the Dark Order seriously anymore. I couldn't. I mean, with Brody Lee, at least they kept him as goons. You know, it was. But he'd be a good choice. Everybody's just so dead set that Bray Wyatt's going to take him over. It's like,
I honestly, I know you're like fuck that, but I if they make Anna Jay be the anchor and become like the actual like. Not the exalted one. I don't think you can ever do that. But give her an actual personality besides a pretty face, and let her be like I'm gonna say like a bad bitch.
Yeah.
And like get that become more aggressive and say I have a power of these goons, because like it could. I don't want to say like that, but like the idea of you could draw like it's like the simp squad. She points, they attack. She goes like this, 3 of them jump to like be like her fist. That idea. Like she can become like a dark, like a spooky witch idea as the leader. I think it would be great. I think it would be the idea of also then makes Anna Jay look dark, and then Tay Conti can either bow down like Colt Cabana kind of did to the Dark Order, or she just sprays off and then she does her own thing too. It's a good way to separate that gimmick too.
And it'd be something different. It'd be
Yes.
something you wouldn't expect.
Tony, if you're listening,
he is.
I'll, just send the check in by either your first venue of Detroit or, a t-shirt, please.
From ProWrestlingTees.com.
ProWrestlingTees.com.
I thought the match stunk. It was a good opener. It was C-.
It was just rough. And is not good when the best part is Taz on the microphone away from the screen, and he's going, we got it, and then CM Punk puts a little like hot streak. Oh no,
good. Come on, Dobbs. Yeah, that when an 80s style heel commentator is the best part of a match, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Now the next match should have probably been the opener because it was hot. It was the Super Click, which yes, at ProWrestlingTees.com you can already buy the shirt, which is
excellent shirt.
It is a neat shirt. Cole and the Bucks took on the Jurassic Express, my man Jungle Boy Luchasaurus, and that fucking douchebag. Why do they have him with him?
They should have Marco.
Marco stunt. Marco can go, and it's funny because he's so short, but Marco, watch anything he did in Game Changer. This fucking guy can work. He works circles around Christian Cage. I don't care what anybody says. Have him in the ring. It's a laugh. It's a little fucking novelty. You're fucking dinosaur gimmick. I mean, don't pay this kid just to come down there. It's a waste of money. Have him work. But the match was good. Jungle Boy, God, he gets better every week. I mean, that kid is good. And he's a kid.
Yeah. No, I like Jurassic Express. I got their shirt. And then I'm glad the Super Click won.
Oh, yeah.
In sense. But unless Jurassic Express, it has to be Jurassic Express is helping Christian Cage, because it clearly is not Christian Cage helping Jurassic Express. Because I could, then that goes into what it says. I feel bad for him. He could just be gone and no one would care.
No.
Because I would rather see, because Marco's stunt as the third guy would have been better. And you said funnier, because like, look at that thing. Even like if the Super Click, granted the picture is perfect with Jungle Boy there, but it could have been Jungle Boy or Marco getting that the Super Click's new finisher with them little pecks on the cheek, like shit, whatever. But I've seen, those old oily paintings of like, of like Michael Jordan, like slam dunking, but it has like that weird esque, like over concentrated image. Mm-hmm. I saw that shot of Jungle Boy looking up like it looked like a Renaissance painting of that fucking, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. But the idea of Marco does that great like big chicken. He goes, let's go. Like he starts
and he jumps. Like if you notice, he'll dive on people. He'll go after the biggest one. He jumped on fucking and that one. What's the big one with the beautiful tan? Is that Gallows or Anderson? They're meaningless to me. I can't tell them apart. The big one. And Marco goes after him when there's interference. It worked. Plus, it's funny because he's little. He's like 5'4". It's fun to watch a guy get thrown around like that. I'm sorry, it is. So, yeah, Christian Cage was doomed from the start. You hyped him up, or you hyped up this mystery man coming in. It's going to blow the roof off the building. You get the big countdown that says outwork everyone. Never heard him say that in his life. And here comes Christian Cage, because it was like 4, 3, 2, what? Oh, him. His match with Kenny was good because Kenny carried him. I don't care what anybody. Kenny carried that fucking match. He won the Impact title. Good. Let's just ship him over to Impact. Fuck him. Because then when they had their next match, it stunk. It was the same thing. Wasn't any good. Christian is just, he's not a good Christian needs edge. And with the gang he's with, unless the payoffs of his even if he turned on him, who'd care? I mean, he needs to go. And that's the only guy I'm saying. When he comes out there, I'm just kind of like, him. It's like he's riding the coattails of the youngsters.
Yeah.
Like he's a leech.
Out of all the older guys, And I mean, I feel for him. I'm sorry, Christian, if you ever listen to this. I'm just either whoever's promoting or booking you, it looks bad right now. And like, I know you're the Impact champ, but also when you're doing trios tags, no one cares about your fucking belt. You're not. It's not even part of the promotion. So
Tessa
again,
Blanchard was the fucking Impact Heavyweight Championship. Nothing against having a female as a champion. When your company is booking this female to be beating up guys like Cage and Callahan and all that, all you're doing is devaluing your belt, making these guys look weak as shit. Because at the end of the day, you're a guy that jobbed to a girl, and so now he's holding the belt that a girl used to hold. Wow, what prestige!
yeah, I don't know. Uh,
The
but yeah,
match was good though.
the match was great, but also again, it's that the touch of the elite because um I was more impressed. But again, I know they're big, nimble guys, but I love seeing that the is it the Panama Express or whatever Adam Cole's finisher is. Um, Seeing Luchasaurus be able to do the whole and it looked great, not like in a rough, but it looked violent in the right ways.
Oh, Lucha can go for as big as that
Oh
fucker
yeah,
is. He's good. He's real good. Great gimmick. Great with Jungle Boy. Like I said, that kid just gets better every week. Looks so much like his mom. It's creepy. I mean, he's a fans look up his mom. He doesn't look like his dad, the late Luke Perry. It's just like his mom. And I mean, it's like if his mom could fucking grow sideburns, that's him. It's uncanny how much he looks like her.
put some mullet chops on her, mutton chops.
Yeah, and I like the sideburns. Nice ode to his dad because I'm old. I was in high school when 90210 was out. I had hair and I had my sideburns like Dylan McKay. I mean, it's cool and I like him. Nobody in that group is really a good talker. They can just kind of all say a few things that make it work. And really, Christian. I mean, I think we hit the nail on that. Christian just looks like a hanger on. He just looks like some washed up guy that needs somebody young to be with and and I'd like to see Marco, unless they're afraid Marco will get hurt, unless there's something in his deal. I don't know. But in the beginning, Marco wrestled once in a while. He just fucking wrestle anymore.
Ever since Lance Archer threw him like in like half that goalpost, he's never been the same. He's like, I'm good.
Unless they just think it well. But see, and that would be the weird thing. Like, this he's too gimmick. We can't have him wrestle. Orange Cassidy's a gimmick. The best friends are a gimmick. That's all gimmick that wrestles. It works. Give Marco a chance. Watch Marco stunt in GCW in one of their scramble fuckery matches. That's what they're called. Marco tear the house down. That fucking guy can go. So what if he's little? He suspends your disbelief. I'd rather watch him than Cage. At least Marco does all this. He doesn't just go.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't. Again, they put a lot of eggs in their basket, AEW, and I think they're trying to figure out who's the spoils. Like, what are the spoiled ones? And I did look up Jungle Boy's mom. It's uncanny. Like, it's very like, whoa, that's Jungle Boy almost. But I see like,
I just thought I got the solution. Arn turns on Cody. I don't have. Let's say this is my menu, and see he could go. And Christian Cage could be his new pupil, and he could just go and look at the menu that Arn's holding, like the game plan
from a distance.
There you go. Arn can hold up the Waffle House menu. Christian Cage can go like that, like he's looking at it, and then they can both go. There you go. I found a way to get rid of both of them and make them good together.
There you go. Hear that, Tony?
But what'd you think of the next match? I hated it. And I didn't hate the match. I hate the whole gimmick. The Men of the Year against Haggard, Jack Swaggart, or I'm not a fan. And Jericho. I watch you. I know these UFC fighters, but what the fuck? UFC guys are real anybody in the Junior Dos Santos might not be the man in UFC anymore. He'd fucking kill Haggard and Jericho at the same time in about 2 seconds. Why is your manager a mouthpiece for fucking Ultimate Fight? I don't understand where this is going. The match wasn't bad, but I don't get it. I guess this is one I really don't know what's going on. I think Dan Lambert's little woke promos, he's not a bad talker, but he's not going to give up coaching a fucking gigantic top team to be a wrestling manager. I don't understand.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Men of the Year won because of that? Who
They
won?
did. The men of the year.
I thought so.
It was the little because Dan Lambert grabbed the leg, and then the big payoff Jericho. Anytime you grab a guy in the ring and you don't start beating him up, if you got to play to the crowd, and that led to all the UFC guys coming down.
Yeah,
and Mandival, I don't care. Mandival fucking did not pull that knee. He knocked Jericho fucking goofy. Jericho fell,
really?
Twisted. He was bleeding. I swear that knee wasn't pulled. I could be wrong, but either Jericho's selling has improved 1,000 times, or he just got fucking leveled.
That's what I was going to say was they had all those UFC guys come out, and like this week had another batch of them. I know some of the guys are the same, but like the only ones I knew was the one who did the flying knee to Jericho, and then that girl who does the bare knuckle fight.
Isn't she cute? I gotta say that was one nice looking
Paige
for a bare knuckle fighter. Ooh, man.
Again, that the only reason I know her is because of following like there's like AEW like fan people, and they have that Paige girl. Just she's so cute. Apparently, she even gets photos being sent up on this AEW fan thing. So I'm like, oh, and I'm talking about before even this week. But yeah, I think
for Dan Lambert, instead of having Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, manage Junior Dos Santos and Andre. I'm tired of you wrestlers thinking you're tough. I got the two guys here, former champions. They're the tough ones. Have the match with them. It's very convoluted. And what bothered me the most is here's the Inner Circle getting the shit beat out of them. Where's fucking Santana and Ortiz? They're in the next goddamn match. And that to me was just stupid. No one came to make the save when they're all there. Sammy had already gotten beat up by Miro. We forgot about that. But still, the two guys that could have made the save are fighting next. What were they busy? Were they getting dressed?
Yeah. They put makeup on.
It's true. I mean, it was just I don't get it. I mean, I think that's my issue. I don't really understand what I'm watching. It doesn't make so what this gimmick is that we're all woke except wrestlers, but not these two wrestlers. They're not woke. I don't get it. I think it's just dumb.
I was, like I said last week, I was actually happy with what I thought the payoff was going to be, but then they lost. So that obviously means the thing can linger. And then they brought out all those UFC people to beat up Hagar and Jericho. And then also Jericho and Hagar are part of this group that everybody loves, but no one came out to help. And then like even they could have had Sammy come out with like a hurting his ribs, like God damn it, that shit. Yeah. But like the idea of yes, they made Santa Ortiz look like they're like new phone, who this? They like you just want to hang out with all your, the other luchador friends. They're just doing this in the background.
Follow-up. I'd have Jericho on there all fucking bandaged up, Hager in a sling, and be like, we got our ass kicked. Where the fuck were you like that? I'd make something of that. Because if that was an oversight, that was a big fucking oversight. That was a gaping hole in booking there.
Yes, and they can put 3 out of the 5 in wraps. Sammy could have no, because Sammy has to match that Wednesday, so never mind. But like it goes, I have no idea.
I don't understand it.
They have to at least then say that Inner Circle is disbanded.
Yeah.
Before this shit happened.
I've asked Jericho on 10 occasions to sell me a vest. Okay, now listen to me. Your gang is clearly not together. I don't sell me Sammy's. He's too small. Any other guys I can fit. Sell me one of the vests. I'm begging you. I'll pay you for one. I want one now. Clearly, you're not a gang anymore.
That's funny.
I offered him
I
like $2,000 for one of them once. I said, "Can you tell me who made it?" And all I could get was that it was Haggard, Swaggard, whatever. It was his guy that did them. But I mean, I'd buy one. They're fucking cool. They're like the old Warriors movie jackets to me. And I got
yeah.
his original member or fucking MC or you know, yeah, you can't have two guys get beat up. Nobody comes out to save them, and right when we come back from commercial break, here's your fucking gang coming to the ring to fight. It's I don't I don't understand. And you need 4 UFC guys to beat up. You need 3 UFC guys, a bare knuckle girl, 2 wrestlers beat up 2 guys. Andre Arlovsky or Santos alone would have killed them too. And Junior, what's the point of having Arlovsky and Dos Santos? They don't fucking do anything. And neither one of their former UFC champions, because in the realm of mixed martial arts, they're both washed up as shit because they're older. They've had their matches, and if you're translating them to wrestling, they should be the ones having the fights. Don't bring the coach in to manage 2 wrestlers. It's just, I don't get it. It's
I
stupid.
don't know their names because, like you said, names. Are those the ones that were
Andre's the
fighting
one with the big
Hagar?
beard. Andre's the one with the big beard, and the bald one is Junior Dos Santos. Both former champions, but they're former and they're older. Once you pass the age of like 35, your fighting days are kind of done, and these guys are well past that.
Yeah, but those are the ones that were fighting Hagar because all I know is I remember Paige's name and then the guy with the flying knee. I don't know his name that well, but I know that he's the badass motherfucker belt.
Yeah. He's actually, I could see him transitioning to wrestling because he already wears the stupid, fucking annoying Young Buck style clothes. He looks like a prick, and he's fairly talented. But I mean, that knee, like I said, I kept watching it. I mean, he busted him open with that knee, and I've never seen anybody fall like that unless it was a legit knockout. Either Jericho watched a lot of fighting tapes to learn how to do that, or this guy just came at him and cracked him one. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I like Ultimate Fighting. I like wrestling. I don't need them together.
It's that weird, yeah, it's very odd. And that was one of those things that was very messy spot of Rampage that marks it down for me. I'm like, yeah.
No,
next was the girls, wasn't it?
No, it was the tag match because there's the fucking Santana Ortiz who don't come to help. They coming down with the dead presidents. I like that movie, so I always get a kick out of when they're painted like that. And plus, I fucking love them. With the Lucha, best tag team out there, against the Hardy family. I like the match. I think the Lucha Brothers. I wouldn't have put the Lucha Brothers with the LAX because I would rather see the Lucha Brothers fight the LAX because. I mean, who's Lucha Brothers? They're the champs. Who are they going to fight with? I don't want to see them go another program with the Bucks for a year. There's nobody in the Hardy family. Butcher and Blade that beat. I mean, LAX is a logical choice. I don't know, but the match is okay. That's what I'll say about it. The match was okay. It was a nice middle of the show match.
It was had all the spots you're looking for, even the 4-man little flop over on the side of the ring. But yeah, it was definitely. I'm hoping it becomes that strange bedfellows style that it's proud and powerful. I know you say LAX.
I keep fucking that up. They'll always be LAX to me.
But I'm hoping that turns them into like we're gonna fight you guys next. Like we'd like turn on you because, like you said, unless it's Jurassic Express. There's nobody else that needs that belt yet.
And if you recall, when Proud and Powerful, I got it right, when they debuted, it was after the Bucks Lucha Express, or after the Bucks Lucha Brothers ladder match, All Out maybe, I can't remember the pay-per-view. They came in the masks, the dead president, like from Point Break, the mask, the Nixon and the Reagan masks. They left them both laying. They took off the mask, and here's Proud and Powerful. So they debuted as the heels, and now they're not in a program. I just, I mean, they made for a neat team, but why are you hanging out with these two guys when the members of your gang just get the shit beat out of them? And I think I couldn't get over it. I think I was sitting there the whole match like, the fuck were these guys 10 minutes ago? Because it wasn't a long match. It was just a spot match. But and then, of course, that had Hardy coming down and he's got the scissors. And apparently when Orange Cassidy comes down with Statlander, I always like to see her. But Matt Hardy's got the scissors. Got him. He's going to cut the hair. Here comes Orange Cassidy at the ramp. Fucking 4 blocks away. And Orange just comes down like, Orange Cassidy's seen enough. And Matt Hardy stops. What the fuck? Just snap, you're done. You could have done that before he even came down because his music has to go, man. It's like, Orange Cassidy's had enough. He didn't go nowhere. How did he stop? How did Orange Cassidy explain to me? How did Orange Cassidy stop Matt Hardy from cutting someone's hair?
His presence, his aurora, his personality. Look, he fought a fan last week because the guy would look like him.
As Taz would have said, 6 of them. But the only thing it's set up for then is when Hardy was like, next week, I've had enough of you. Hair versus hair, you and Jack Evans. And that was good Matt Hardy. That was shades of the old gimmick, the broken, which everybody wants to delete. We all want it. I want it back. Tony, have him lose his hair, go in the lake of rejuvenation, get a wig. The match was good. Sorry, I just couldn't get it past them not helping their partners, but it was I like my flippy, and this was a nice little flippy match. The Lucha Brothers, God, they're on a level I've never seen before. They're so good.
Penta look like some Raider fans I've seen in my life.
Yeah,
like that silver and black, like shiny. And yes, it was a good flippity match. And then definitely, obviously, I don't see Santana or Ortiz saying yes to letting their hair get clipped on TV compared to the other ones. So that's definitely why that halted that too. But what is it? Hopefully, like I said, I do not like the Hardys, but the Hardy family.
No, it's a bunch of losers stuck together.
But if we can get at least 3 of them bald to break it up, or even I feel bad because I feel bad. The only people with hair is Jack Evans, Angelico, Hardy himself, and then the bunny, and then also the one private party guy, because the other guy has very short Caesar hair.
I got it. The butcher. He's got no fucking hair on the top, and he looks like shit, and he's got that, where his partner actually has the short hair. Cut that motherfucker and cut that goddamn giant.
Maybe they'll do a hair versus hair like that, and he'll cut the whole facial.
Cut it all. Okay. I mean, maybe, but maybe. I mean, it's just I don't know. I know the match was fine. It was a short match. That's all it was meant to be. Short, get the crowd back into it kind of match, because then it led into the ladies match next, which all that was to set up an angle. And I'm sorry, the bunny, Penelope Ford, wow, beautiful. Not a bad wrestler. I thought the women's match was okay.
Yeah. And I don't like that. Like, again, it goes into that idea. It goes into having the bunny come out to interfere makes Anna Jay look like a very novice person, especially since all she did was stand at the ramp and tilted her head to make Anna Jay stop and go, "You bitch," like that idea. And especially where Tay didn't come out till the very end for that whole gimmick, that why we're getting a tag team match Wednesday for it. But yeah, it was I don't even think it was that long. So it was a very good, nice little package. And then brass knuckle, boom, Penelope wins. And then it starts made it look like we were talking about prior. It made it look like Anna Jay could become the anchor to make the Dark Order stay together.
Yeah, because she even says, like, she did it. She got the Dark Order on the same page. And then, they go to Shan Uno and the other one, I always fucking forget. Stu, they wouldn't shake hands. And I guess it didn't air, but I guess like Uno, when he got to the back, teased going up, because there's 2 tunnels. face heel. And Uno, I guess,
Oh.
teased going into the heel tunnel, which they should have left that on TV, but he didn't. He went back through the face. But as long as I see my man Johnny Hungy, I love Silver. I like the Dark Order. Cole Cabana, I think he looks confused naturally, so I like how he didn't know what was going on. I don't know where it's going, but that's all it was. It's because the Dark Order are popular. You get a pop when they run down, and yeah, it was a match to further an angle, which got to have payoff here quick. You can't drag in today's day and age. You can't drag things on that long. You just can't.
I agree. And then I too, I'd rather hear my story idea we made up here. But we are 4 weeks away from Halloween, where a certain person is possibly off their contract of the whatever it's called, the Bray Wyatt
clause.
Yeah, the no complete clause. We are now we're almost exactly 4 weeks away from what could ever the result. I feel like a fucking a MAGA believer that's waiting for a certain date. Yep, this is the date they're actually going to overturn the whole thing. Don't worry, guys. We got it coming. Like that shit. I just don't. But I would rather. I know Anna Jay's not technically. Well, she is. Like I'd rather have that homegrown feel, because if you can start building other girls like Britt Baker, even Anna Jay to go into that dark route, but she gets her own feelings and stick, maybe give her a little bit more like, again, it goes into that Daniel Bryan thing. He's like, I love working with writers. Like get somebody to help Anna Jay, maybe just think of something to say.
I got a lot of ideas Vince McMahon told me that we could use for her.
Yeah, the idea of just give her a little bit more mic work, get her a little bit maybe more moments to feel more feelings, start yelling or something, get something going, get her some passion. Maybe then you can probably get somebody up there in the same, maybe not, but the same stratosphere as Britt Baker, or at least get out of the fucking atmosphere, get close to the fucking moon like she is. I don't know, but like that's all. Because I don't mind the Dark Order feuding, but also it needs to be a good payoff, even if they're a joke one. They just need a good payoff.
Maybe I was always thinking maybe Adam Page would come back and get them all together. Obviously, this fucking guy asked for time off the day after he knocked his wife up, and we ain't gonna see him for 9 goddamn months because he can't count. But Bray Wyatt, that's the obvious choice. Who knows? It led into the best segment of the night, of the week, the best segment of the week when they said, let's go in the back with Mark Henry. And this is the time for talking is done. It's time. For the main event, that he should just be there forever. The next match, he should just be there to MC. He should be fire this fucking ring announcer. Let's get Mark Henry down there ring announce. But it was
no more Dapper.
The Lance Archer and the Great Muta against what the fuck is his name? It's not Suzuki. Sasuke?
It is Suzuki.
Suzuki, the Great Suzuki, and Lance Archer. I really like Lance Archer against Kingston. This was Kingston's hometown. That crowd was fucking into Kingston. They were more into him than Moxley. That crowd was Eddie. And Eddie's ripping off his shirt. Then I think somebody was like, Eddie, don't. You're fat. So he stopped because Eddie, although I got a feeling in real life, Eddie probably beat the fuck out of somebody. I have a feeling he's a legit, New York tough guy. But, he's like, I can't take, I'm hot in here, Mox. And just a real good promo, which I always like his promos. And, it was a lights out match. And I like how they did old school where they dim the lights. And the announcer said, if anybody gets hurt, AEW is not responsible. I always like when they add that little bit of theme here. And, well, they had a good match. Eddie's little chop fest look a little weak when he just started going so hard. The Lance Archer was like, what the fuck is this? But Eddie was, I mean, they knew that it was Eddie's hometown. The crowd was in it. They highlighted Eddie a lot in the match, almost more than they did Mox. I mean, and they could come through the crowd. And it was a good match. It was a very hard hitting match. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a nice match. Good main event.
What is it? He that's what also funny about the promo. Lance Archer goes, well, since then there's home field advantage, and like for Mox, and then out of nowhere, Nick goes, you know what? This is my hometown. It's it's New York, and then he just like people forgot, like, oh yeah, oops, yeah. This is his hometown too.
Yeah. Well, then you have another match. Well, fuck, they had hometown 2 in a row, and Archer, my wife fucking loves Lance Archer, and I like him. I kind of miss Jake. I know Jake hasn't been doing too good health wise. He needs a mouthpiece, and it's not Masahiro Chono, who has the most annoying hair in the world. And I'm sorry, what is the fascination with this old guy? He looks old as shit. He's got the worst fucking
face. He has some hair to fuck around with.
I mean, well, yeah, I could be Paul Heyman. I could grow this part out. I look like a fucking walrus like he did when he had the ponytail. But he or so. But he I don't get it. What am I not seeing that the rest of the world is obviously seeing with this old ass Japanese guy who I understand you were in Pancreas. I understand you're old now. Why am I supposed to be so impressed with this guy? What I really don't see the fascination with him.
It just has to be because, I mean, we rooted for a Sting but also we know Sting. So obviously, I'm not saying this guy is the Japanese Sting, but the idea of the guy still goes kind of. He's getting because obviously Japanese has a weird way of like doing their hits or whatever. They like not selling is a way of playing to the crowd there.
Style.
Yeah, that stuff. So, but the idea of what is it? I didn't mind the match. The only part I liked
the match itself. I did like,
and I like Suzuki's theme song. I do like Suzuki's like persona. I mean, I don't have any history with him either. But the one spot with the match I didn't like was the part where Mox was getting hung off the ring, and they're like, please one more commercial break, and then we right back. But they did no picture this time. No. They must have they have like a rope fucking commercial come through or something. Like, we're not going to do a Pizza Hut fucking commercial.
And you could tell Archer was trying to help him. Like when he put the belt around him, Archer had his hand there because Mox. There were a few points in there where Mox was getting choked. He was turning purple. I mean, legitimate. But I guess like what I was saying, I don't have a reason to care. I like Lance Archer. I know Lance Archer. I know Eddie. I don't know fucking Ultimo Dragon. I want to see a video package instead of having the girls fight. Let's go back to New Japan and let's see when Lance Archer and Tommaso Chono were in this team together. And then I see all this video footage. And then it shows, I got the history now. Give me, not everybody, I'm not saying I'm a dumb fan, but not all fans know everything about everything. You're working with the company, you can get the video footage. Let's give me a video package. I don't care if it's 20 minutes. It'd be like, that's why I got it. Then I would care a little bit. Instead, I just see 3 AEW guys and an old man that Moxley supposedly has some history with hitting each other with kendo sticks.
They did show Suzuki Gang work before. It was only 5 seconds, and it looked like they were in a bingo hall. But I'm just, I completely agree. When even like if you don't want to be like your competitors, nothing is gonna none of your fans will hold it against you if you want to at least make main events have a video preview.
Yeah.
To at least then at least makes you interested. Like, okay, this week's main event is the Suzuki shit. All right, we'll get a little promo. See what's this whole thing. Okay, then you could have like Like, no, Dynamite did too. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, we got to see the whole little joke about you're just like every other girl, glitz and glam, and you're fucking somebody in the back. That
Yeah,
was, what I mean? We saw
get
that again.
fired from everywhere you go, and you didn't come here. You got fired. No, yeah, but it told you the history.
Yeah, or they even at least the announcer goes. I mean, how did I word it? That is the smart fan way of because even the announcers, they have history. Like, oh, they know each other before WWE and like, blah blah blah, indie shit. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. The Suzuki one, if everybody has New Japan in their hearts all the time, apparently they have this Suzuki. Like, I don't know. Like, we've had JR sit down with Brian Pillman over hearing his mom's name be Methany or whatever it is.
That was funny shit, though, might I say.
But yeah, but we can't have JR have a sit down with Suzuki and Lance Archer. Like they're gonna kill him or something. Like you're a person. We need a strike. We have to stay in the back.
Or like JR is even like, I don't know you. You don't know who I am, and he hits JR like Mankind did. People think I'm being a douchebag. I can't remember this fucking guy's name. I'm not calling him the wrong names to be an asshole. I'm just using a Japanese name that pops in my head that I know because I knew all of them. Because WCW, when they brought in the Ultimo Dragon, I liked it. It just didn't like he fucking walked down with Sonny Ono. Video package. It's one of the easiest things to make. And I've always said, too, if you're going to do this stupid, to me it's stupid, I know you like it, the fucking win-loss record. Just before the match starts, do like they do in the fighting. Tail of the tape. And here's Cody Rhodes, and he's 185 pounds, and he's got 60-inch reach. And this is his spin. You could do that and make it a package, almost like you're trying to make it seem very realistic. You can take another step, but in the case of bringing in these that'd be like next week if they brought in another member of the House of Sasuke. I don't watch Japanese wrestling anymore. Just show me a video montage, and then I'll at least okay. I need to. I don't know. To me, like I said, it's an old guy. It looks like Mox. Maybe he's real tough because it looks like sometimes they'll be going for a move, and Mox will kind of be like when he was getting a pile driven on that table last week. Like, oh, fuck that, like that. But they hit hard. Their little ECW bit where they fought with the chairs. That was pretty. The one chair popped. I think that's why they stopped early. But I really liked that it showcased Kingston because it was his hometown and he was over.
Yeah, and then the video package would help, and then also because it goes into like the idea of like I know that they made a fake theme song for him right then, or a little bit, but like I don't know who Homicide is, and this guy's from New York, or America, so like
I know the name. It's Impact TNA. He's another one of them from over there, but the crowd they kind of cheered for him, but they also kind of didn't. But I know him. I know him more than I know Suzuki. Yeah. I got it right. Once again, though, did you need Homicide to come down? I mean, I don't. But
they needed to tie him up, and then for some reason, Moxie pretend he had his hands tied, but Suzuki forgets that he needs his hands moved for his move or something, and then surprise. You know what I mean? Like it must have been so Suzuki can make his finisher or something.
But here's the thing that's always bothered me about these surprises. So here's Homicide, and he's going to run in. Guy in the goddamn booth knows he's there because they're playing music and a video package. It's much more. I'll go back to when Scott Hall debuted in WCW to start the NWO thing. There was no video package. There was no music. Because when you're doing a date, when you're doing like a run-in or something, you just come through the crowd. To me, that because it's like, what's Homicide doing here? Who is this guy? He's here to make the. Well, he's got a video. He's got music. He's got fucking graphics. The guy knew when to cue up the music. That's when you don't do a video package. You just have a guy run in. Unless they're like, no one's going to know who he is. We better showcase him. It's like, how is that making a surprise help? The music is hit. I'd stop beating up the guy on the floor and be like, where's he at? I mean, That's always bothered me. Always bothered me for some reason when the mystery guy gets music.
Dude, good thing he's from New York. He had a fucking pocket knife on him to cut up some duct tape like that. But
he's wearing his mask. Like he's getting ready to go rob a bank with Nick Gage when he's done.
I know we're in especially in a year of coat. Like he couldn't own a mask he probably has a mask at home. He could have had like at least come up with a surgical mask and have been the same idea. Who is this man?
Or wear a mask that you can get at prowrestlingtees.com. You wear a homicide mask and sell it. My phone would have beeped 30 seconds later. Homicide COVID mask now available.
That probably would sell a lot. A mask that said homicide. You're like, whoa. Double entendre. But
good match though. It was a good main event because you had your mat wrestling, and it was a good way for them to end that whole show because you got to see the whole thing there. You had your mat wrestling, you had your flippity, you had your big man. Now you had your just straight up fight, and it was good. I mean, it didn't overstay its welcome either. Maybe about 10-12 minutes, so it was just the right amount of time to send everybody home. Like now, now here's our violent match. And the two we don't know lost, but Eddie, the hometown guy, he had his showcase. The crowd was behind him. I mean, it was it was good. I thought Rampage was the weaker of the two shows, but it ended good. I thought it was for expanding to 2 hours. I did like though because I got a little more. 1 hour just doesn't seem enough to me.
I also think how do I word it? 90 minutes. This one's different. Grand Slam, they have a set deal. We have a plan. But if they can go 90 minutes and get an hour 30, that would be perfect. I don't think they need 2 hours because also this 2 hours, it extended these weird. You had UFC people in the ring for 5 minutes too much just to smack around two wrestlers for no reason. And then, but I was going to give Rampage because it is and like some of the jumbles, they're called botches. So some of the botches, I'm going to give it just a B. I'm not even give it a B plus, but it was a good show. And again, I'm doing this, and this is with my heart of like, I'm jealous because I'm not in New York. I'd wish Detroit can get something like that. You know what I mean? But A- and B, that's still a good week.
I'll go with B too, just because the opening match was not good to me. The other matches were fine. They were good. The main event was good, although I don't know jack shit yet about Tenzan and whoever. And if I liked it might have been the mostly focused on the Hardys, but it did help to advance the story. And I'm very much I like the wrestling, but I like the story. I need a reason. I need my soap opera aspect. So it did a nice job of elevating. I like that commentary team. They need to switch it. But I like that time for talking is done. That makes it seem that's why the main events are so good. Because when he says the time for talking is done, you're like, shit's gonna happen now. Because Mark sells it so good. And I wouldn't have known that was the main event. I just thought it was 4 schlubs fighting. When he went, it's time for the main event. It was like, fuck, shit's on. This is gonna be a slobber knocker. I would have liked
trying to say that this is the same, but for some reason, I don't know if it's a blur, but sometimes I feel Mark Henry says the same question, same rebuttal, and then time for the main event.
But tell me when he says that, you're not like, fuck yeah. We're
almost over that guy.
At least every now and then he did a twisty in the air twisty move. Suit looked like Pepto-Bismol. The only way Ricky Starks fucking talks is if Taz says, Ricky, and then he'll answer him. Other than that, I think Ricky Starks reading the paper. And I could see, all kidding aside, I could see if you said, we're not going to have Mark Henry here anymore. We're going to have Don Callis. Okay. Don's great. We're not going to have Mark Henry here anymore. We're going to have Adam Cole. We're not going to have Mark Henry anymore. We're going to bring in the guy that says less, that only works if his manager feeds him.
They should just have Hook up there.
Yeah, that could be the gimmick. You know who'd be good? I'd have fucking Wardlow up there. And everyone like, what do you think, Wardlow? I mean, at least it would work. I mean, or just do the rotating. Like this week we got MJF. Next week we're gonna have this. You could do that, the guest commentators, but why Ricky Starks is, I mean, it's all Taz. Like when they tied up Penta's mask, Ricky, write that down. We ever fight a mask guy, we're using that move. Ricky didn't even say okay. I swear to God, if you cut up there, he'd be reading a book.
I think it'd be funny if they did Hook, and then Taz goes, "What do you think, Hook?" And then it's silent, and then he goes, "Good point, Hook," and then just like go like that, and like, but
like when they would get Orange up there once in a while, and Orange wouldn't say shit. He just, that one time they cut to him. I don't remember what match it was. He was sleeping. It worked so perfectly. Like, what do you think, Orange? They just cut to him. Good answer.
I do.
So good.
I'm granted this week couldn't work like that, but Eddie Kingston has been working really good in the announcing for dark matches. And I think he'll be a great actually mouthpiece for the table down the road, or even, you know what I mean? So,
Big Show doesn't do too bad. He's very good on the mic, especially when they let him be his natural, because he's very charming. I think, and even in the case of Mark Henry, which I don't get, when they worked for WWE, those two were ambassadors. You guys go visit the sick kids. You guys go to the Special Olympics. You guys do this, and and Show, especially the two, has a big personality, a big likable guy. I don't have a problem with him. Let's just move him up to the commentary. And not
Mark
Rick
Henry.
Starks. Henry was okay.
Yeah, but Mark Henry talks like a normal human on his podcast, but for some reason on the TV, he's like flippity twisty.
No, he was, the first few weeks he was there, they had him with Daffy Duck. Yeah. And the fucking Daffy, when I'm talking about Jericho, you can't talk. Taz can't even get into words edgewise. I think maybe they were like, Jericho's funny, but this guy, fucking shut up. They didn't think we got a meth head up here with us. But, I mean, he was good, but give me just a two-man booth. I don't like a three-man booth. I despise a four-man booth. It was like it's too much, especially because Excalibur's good. People make fun of him because he wears a mask. That's his gimmick. He can actually call the moves. He's a very good play-by-play guy. Taz is a very good color guy. What's the third guy serves no? Those two, I think, would be fantastic together. Jim Ross's shtick is old, and I still say it hurts that you have Ross, Schiavone, Excalibur. You have three good guys. You need that heel up there to run the mouth.
Yeah, and I'm also, again, it might be the part of the whole work, but even Tony Schiavone lately has been like he's been like phoning it in. He just sounds more tired about all these heels than anything else. Like, because they obviously, how did I word it? Like, there was a spot when MJF, I know that he's selling, he's a terrible man, that blah, blah, blah.
That bastard, I hate him and all that. Yeah, they sell him good.
But, like, he's been, granted, also because he's been the heel of the joke for even, like, when Don Callis comes out, he always comes out, he goes like this, and then fucking just he sells it, so maybe it is a work. But, like, there's some moments I'm like, God dang, why is Tony even up there? He just sounds pissed off like he's even up there. He's like, shut up. They just need a win. The heels, the faces, like, they don't say the face, but the face needs a goddamn win. But yeah, I want
to see Tony interview Britt. I want to pay off. I want him to give her the hug like he always does, and then I want to hear that it's all about that. And then Adam Cole comes up. I warned you, you nerd, and just fucking blast Schiavone, and then Schiavone's kid comes into the ring. And Adam Cole, and then the Bucks come and they lay him up, and now it sets up the Big Show and Tony Schiavone against the Super Click Party. And Tony ain't got to do nothing. Big Show, I'm saying I just basically want to see Schiavone get hit because I think Schiavone's a good announcer. But like you said, if Schiavone don't feel like working that night, it's evident. It's very evident, and he was like that a lot in WCW toward the end. If he didn't feel like, if he's either on or he stinks, and there's no in the middle. Jim Ross might be a botch fest sometimes. He's always on fire, though. He's like, you know what that means? It's time for some cowboy shiznit and all that. But, what Jim Ross needed to be. Why didn't Jim Ross tell me where Brian Pillman Jr. played football in? Why didn't he tell me he was an outstanding linebacker in Oklahoma State or Cincinnati? Or I need Jim Ross to tell me these football stats. He could have been on the great Susuke, outstanding tight end for Michinoku University. I could have got some. Then I would have cared about him. I just want Mark Henry back.
Bring Mark Henry back, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, I know you're listening. I'm just somebody. I just get rid of Ricky Starks. I mean, maybe Ricky Starks is a nice guy that feeds homeless people and gives clothes to orphans, but he ain't a good fucking announcer. Get rid of him.
Well, you don't have to worry because I just saw, because I was looking up that knee hit from Jericho. Ricky, Hobbs, and Orange Cassidy are going on the Jericho's boat somewhere down the road. So, he'll be off the air for a little bit. He even has
shark infested waters.
I like Ricky, so maybe he's doing his thing. If you don't like him about being a heel, but
I like him in the ring. But I didn't mind his interview. Well, I don't like Taz as a manager. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. They gave Taz a group of crap. And the one guy that was good, which is Cage, doesn't need a manager. He doesn't. So Taz kind of got saddled with some goofs. But when they put him in the announce booth, it's like, I like this. This is good. Just keep him in the booth. Does he even need a team Taz? Or if you're going to give him a team Taz, maybe have Punk finally be like, fuck you fans, I'm tired of you, or something. Join Team Taz. But I don't know, it's so weird. It's like they're kind of wasting Taz, and yet when they have him comment, I think Taz could be doing a lot more. I don't want to see Taz in the ring. I fucking don't want to see him in a singlet. But I mean, there's so much more you could do with him. He's a great announcer, but if he's going to be a manager of a gang, why isn't he managing fucking Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page?
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, I mean,
Team Taz stunk because it never really worked. It just, I don't know. I would just, like you said, have Hook up there. Hook never talks. Hook never does shit. He could be the quieter Orange Cassidy or something. You could get it over. Obviously, they had to have hired this kid for a reason. It couldn't have just been like, well, Taz did say I've got to hire his son for $50,000 a year too, but you have to be doing something with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it whenever it happens. But they even had him. I can't believe they even had him in the card, promo card, and him in his Hook, and just like he ain't doing it.
And the crowd, there were a few times the crowd went, Hook, 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 Hook. He got some chance.
But I don't know.
I care about Hook. I hate his hair, but I like Hook. I mean, he put Punk in a dragon sleeper, and then they put him through a table that two guys weren't smart enough to gimmick. I like how Punk covered it. They put me through. They tried to put me through a table. It's like, man, don't say they did, because the table didn't work. Because Powerhouse Hobbs is an idiot. WWE, they got it to a science. It just detaches. They gotta work on it. Either that or Jim Ross was like, fuck you, Tony. I'm not sitting without a table. That's where I put my hat. So they made it that way, but I don't know.
You're giving me flashbacks, Tony. I need a table.
Why is it me, or does Jim Ross not plug his barbecue sauce anymore?
No. I wonder if that involves because they used to be. I wonder if he has the rights, because I thought that they used to be on the WWE shop. He's
Vince
like,
McMahon probably sitting there, sold more bottles than a JR barbecue sauce. He ain't getting nothing. Like that, that could be funny. I'd make an angle out of shit like that.
maybe that's the part of where you Pitbull and you said WWE has a share. It's just barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm. It's all we're all figuring it out. It's all coming. And real quick, I want to ask, what happened to -1? Is he back in school, I assume?
Yep, school started.
Because that would be the good one. No one can bring the Dark Order back. I just thought of it. And here comes -1. He's the leader.
They got to start moving their shows onto Saturday so that he can come out of school.
I mean, come on, mom, negative, whatever you, Lee is think Brody. What is Brody Lee? What's his real name?
I can't remember. I remember it like it's like that weird. I don't know.
Whatever
I just think it's.
Mom needs to be like, look, okay, son, if you get all A's this semester, we're going to let you have 2 days off of school and you're going to get the Dark Order back there so we can put you on TV. I mean, my kid the other day, he wanted to stay home and play Ghost of Tsushima. I looked at his progress report. It was like, what? You got all A's and B's? Yeah, I'll call you in sick. Knock yourself out. I'll say we had a family thing. Play your game. Come on, mama negative. Let your kid have a day off. Let's get him in there with the Dark Order. Come on, Tony. I'm a parent. I'm saying it's okay. Now I'm actually an incentive for the kid to do well. If he does bad, no Dark Order for him. If he does good, he can come back for a couple shows.
He was used to come out with Tay Conti. That was a reward himself. He got to get the little hug and go watch her get fight. So maybe they're just waiting for him to get back. Maybe they don't leave Florida. So whenever they go back to Florida, which is this October, Miami, some guy's going to be there. I know, but they might bring up, bring him.
It's in the evening. It's after school.
Yeah.
I liked -1. I like when he had the face off with Marco Stunt.
Yeah.
That would have
and I'm, that's it. And I think I'm looking forward to this week. I think there's some good matches coming down the pipe with we're gonna get the Sammy Guevara actual match, the women's tag team match.
Hair versus hair.
Hair versus hair. And then did they announce the main, or is that the main event? I don't think so.
It's Adam Cole, but I can't remember who he's up against.
Jungle Boy.
That's right.
It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a good one.
$50 says at some point we're gonna see sponging off the talent again, keeping an eye out for. I'm saying it. Arn Anderson. Here's the menu. I mean, I also want to thank everybody. We had over 500 views last week. 502.
500. Yeah. Like we've been saying, each week we've been getting 100 more, 100 more. And thanks for anybody who's watching. Keep doing thumbs up because I just forgot the comments are off. You keep giving us thumbs up. I saw 2 thumbs down. Hey, if we did, it is what it is. But if you like the show,
that was because of me. I said that MJF and Pillman was the feud no one cares about when I shilled it on a few boards. And obviously that angered maybe Pillman's cousins because that'd be the only people that would fucking care. So I think those were the thumbs down were because of me. But no, I mean, subscribe, like, share. This show is a day later only because it was so big. We needed time to recuperate. Yeah.
And then what is it? Come subscribe to, because I see they switched it to Hardcore Grave. I know you're almost close to, I don't want to say it wrong. It's either 800 or 700.
700. 5 away from 700.
Let's 5 away from 700. It helps the show, help them out. And then obviously, like you said, when we get close to 1,000, that's when you'll probably get a box from ProWrestlingT.com.
Yeah. Here we're pulling it up. The real time. 695 subscribers, and last week's episode drew 506 views. So we got to get this happy with 600 or 700, but we're getting closer to the 1,000. And this was the Grand Slam. It should be 1,000, but it's a day late, so we got to shill twice as hard. And I do shill.
But yeah, it was another great week for AEW, and the next week looks bright too. So we'll see you next week and all that fun jazz. Obviously, if you want to follow Doc at Hardcore Grave on Twitter, and if you want to follow me at Mike Fowler 93, check it out. Good times. You probably see me live tweeting on at least Dynamite. Rampage sometimes I'm like, but yeah.
I try to live tweet at commercial breaks.
So picture in picture.
There you go. Instead of picture in picture, just watch this. There's only a way to film something and do it picture in picture. They could just watch us instead. I got a new computer coming, new camera coming. We'll figure something out. But all kidding aside, thank everybody for all their support, and I hope we get 1,000 this week.